Let's go.
Hi, I'm Jamie. This is Dead Dodge Garage, and this is my 24-valve Cummins truck. I made a silly video the other day highlighting some of the common issues and silly failures on these trucks, most of them stemming from the body and not the fabulous Cummins engine. But I thought today, while I was patiently waiting for my four-wheel drive actuator to unfreeze itself, I would make an honest video explaining what I like and don't like about them. This truck is part of what owners and enthusiasts call the second generation Cummins powered Dodge truck. This particular model is a 2000, but this series was made like this, give or take, from 1994 until 2002. While I am fond of the alternative power plants, that is the Magnum V8 and the V10, what makes these trucks great is the Cummins engine. It's well known for making it to 1 million miles without major issue. The first few years of this series, 1994 to the beginning of 1998, had the best fuel injection system put on a Cummins, the Bosch P-Pump. They are highly reliable and easily tunable. The later section of this series, mid-year 98 to 2002, had the worst fuel injection pumping system, the VP44. If you own one of these or are looking to buy one, you can pretty much expect to have problems with the VP44 unless it's already been replaced. Because of the factory lift pump design shortcoming, the pumps end up starved for fuel and they overheat and kill the electronics built into them. This can cause all kinds of strange issues like stumbling, dead throttle pedal, and a truck that just won't start. As mentioned in the other video, one of these fast frame-mounted lift pumps is pretty much required equipment to keep one of these injection pumps alive and happy, especially if you install a tuner, bigger injectors, or other performance equipment. You're going to need all that fuel. If your VP44 is slowly dying, you can expect to see injection pump timing and other failure codes, even if the truck is still running just fine. Yeah, I've already gotten those in this truck, and I've only had it for like 2 months. Here's what one of these Explode-O-Matic injection pumps looks like. You can see it here under the throttle sensor cover. You can also hear one of the other major issues with the 24-valve, noise. Some owners say they're the best sounding Cummins. I disagree. These slightly updated 98 to 2002 trucks do have a slightly nicer and more modern dash, nicer seating, and other interior appointments that make them nice enough to live with day to day, especially if you've got an SLT Laramie with the leather seats. This is an SLT Laramie without the leather seats. What makes these trucks great is that they're new enough to be relatively comfortable and modern inside, but they're old enough to be pre-emission. They make decent power, good torque, and they can, in theory, handle a lot of weight. I don't want to spend this whole video sounding critical, because the fact of the matter is, I love these trucks like some people love their pets. However, there are a lot of flaws you should know about before you buy one. The biggest issue with any of these trucks, even more so than the injection pump problem, is the automatic transmission. As mentioned in my Magnum engine video, the 4.7RE, much like the 4.6RE, really wasn't designed or built to handle what this truck can do. I bought this truck from a local used car lot, and they assured me that the previous owner said, the transmission has been replaced. It's only got 50,000 miles on it. That may be true, but it's still dying. In fact, I drove this truck on a long highway trip recently and started to lose overdrive, so that's good. If you're gonna buy one of these trucks, what you really wanna see is a shifter sticking out of the floor right here. Even the manual transmissions in these models have their shortcomings. The NV4500 slowly loses fifth gear, and I'm told the NV5600 really isn't a whole lot stronger, but it beats the alternative. Another issue with these trucks that may or may not be major depending on your disposition is their propensity to just leak oil forever. This one, as you can see, has the relatively common self-lubricating chassis option. It works really well for keeping the rust at bay. The handling in these trucks is another constant struggle. The main reason being there's 1,200 pounds of Cummins engine hanging out over the front axle. This leads to constantly failing ball joints, tie rods, and all sorts of other front end parts. This truck needs all of them. Well, I've covered a lot of the issues inherent to the truck. There's another one I'd like to talk about, and that's the owners. Here's a great example. This truck has a leveling kit installed. It pretty much immediately ruins the handling. My last truck, a 99, had the same leveling kit installed, and it pretty much ruined the handling. When I bought this truck, it had no muffler or tailpipe. The exhaust used to go through a stack, cut through the bottom of the bed. The stack was gone, and the exhaust vented underneath the cab. It was absolutely horrible, sound and breathing wise. Here's another fantastic owner modification. Ladder bars, you know, for better burnouts. But here's the thing. They work better when they're firmly attached to the truck. In the other video we made poking fun at these trucks, we featured a kind of weird pewter-colored Ram 3500. That belongs to my friend Miles. We acquired that truck after last winter because the previous owner installed a Smarty tuner, punched it up to 9, and went for a drift party in the snow. He was rewarded by piston number 6 slamming into the cylinder head and making an absolutely horrible knocking noise. I don't recommend doing this. The long and the short is, if you are shopping for one of these trucks, you're much better off going for a higher mileage but better maintained truck, ideally that belonged to an old person who cared about what they had. This is secondary, but it is kind of indicative of the quality of materials used in these trucks. Pretty much every steering wheel over 100,000 miles does this. I feel like I should mention some things I like about these trucks, since I've mentioned so many I don't. They really are comfortable. Other than driving horrible, they kind of drive okay. If that makes any sense at all. What they really do well is tow things. Mission success after 20 absolutely miserable and terrifying miles in the snow. You'll notice I keep my moose ears down unless absolutely necessary. If you need a truck for work, this would be a great one, but you should be aware of the issues you're going to run into and prepare for them. I could spend a lot of time today ragging on 6 liters as well, but that would be unfair. I love these trucks, but I'm well aware of their shortcomings and limitations, and you should be too if you're going to own one. You'll notice the 4-wheel drive light has not come on, which brings me to yet another shortcoming of these trucks, the 4-wheel drive actuator in the front axle. The one on my last truck was dead for a year. I fixed it right at the end of the seasonal snow. This one has been working perfectly until today, when I actually need to get to work. The other unfortunate reality is demand on these trucks, like many others, has gone through the roof, and prices are going up, not down. Now would probably be the time to snag one if you can, and I'd say go ahead and hold on to it. Hopefully I've answered any questions you have about them today, but if I haven't, feel free to ask them down in the comments. Thank you for watching. Oh yeah, and feel free to smash that subscribe button so hard it breaks your phone screen. must have heard all those mean things I said about it.